time.
Hey guys, let's start off with a little chit chat. 2 points to make. Firstly, this has no sound right now because it is a stream highlight from last year sometime, and obviously I was talking in it, so as to make sure I wasn't speaking over myself, sound has been reduced to nothing. This won't be for the full video, it's just this little clip here, which is just used to fill the time. Secondly, Sunday evening last week, I got frustrated at a game, smacked my hand against the floor, end result I went to A&E till like 3 AM in the morning, turned out I torn a few ligaments in my thumb. So that made things interesting on Monday and Tuesday when I came back to tanks, months away, unable to use my thumb to play. Ended up having to use my palm, so little lesson there, if I'm going to smack something soft. So, onto the point of video. Thing I've noticed, coming back, months away, people still do not know when to push, use overmatch, or when not to push. And because of this, I've got, I think, 4 short clips from yesterday, which highlight 4 different scenarios where there are both pros and cons to pushing and not pushing. 2 of them I'm not sure about the order, but first one is a game on Sand River Night, where basically I utilised my team behind me to engage in a trade-off with a couple of mediums, and once those mediums are overrun, we then push in and take out the final heavies on that flank. The second one, I believe, is a game on Airfield Sandstorm. Obviously, first time seeing this map, so I'm not quite sure if that's what it was called, but definitely looked like a sandstorm to me. In this one, the enemy decide, hey, let's push in without knowing where the entire team is, and end result, bad push, they die. As I said, we'll go over pros and cons during it. Third one, probably the shortest clip of the night, is a game on Siegfried Line where basically we have 3 tanks out on the right in the fields that decide they don't want to push up, so my platoon mate's getting hammered from the middle, and I end up just sacrificing my tank to push in, draw a few tanks towards shooting me. Luckily, they all die. Unfortunately, I died too, which I was salty about because shouldn't have happened. We'll explain why during it. And then the final one, a scenario that you see again and again and again. Half the team goes to one flank, half the team goes to the other flank, one flank falls. What does the other team do when they have overmatch? They don't push. They get surrounded. And it's just a loss. That isn't what happens in that clip, but that's because we made sure that didn't happen. Now, obviously, I wasn't going to comment over this part, but this, hey, highlights the wrong push as well. A platoon of 3 heavy tanks, I believe. Obviously, all pushing down on me would have gone great, except for the fact that that Tiger has blocked off pretty much any route down, unless they want to go to the right or left, and provided me cover to take out his platoon mate after that Tiger died. Wouldn't have happened if this guy had been smart, gone down with his platoon mate, gone a bit further into the water and put some shots into me. Instead, went around behind, got his tank stuck. GG, this was before physics were introduced, so who knows what would have happened with physics. Might have worked. But, yeah, wrong push there. Just highlighting that. Wouldn't have mattered, they would have lost anyway, but as I said, good game. Sand River game about to start. As you can see, light tank, I don't know what he was doing. He didn't really spot anything, and decided instead he's going to drive away. Don't know why he was here to begin with, but hey, that T10, our platoon mate, great job, keeps him at bay along with another Tiger 2 while I'm doing this. As you can see, well, you can't really see because I used to circle the map, but there's 3 tanks back there up on that ridge providing cover fire for me while I put my tank front line up against, hey, platoon of 3 Panthers. That was a bad shot. That was an RB. I'm going to admit that. But obviously, those Panthers, not really bothered about me, more interested in shooting the thing behind me, except when I push up, and then they start going for me. Most of the time, they are bouncing. Now, I believe it's a Tiger 1 that's to the left of me engaging that T10. I'm going to bring a note to him again in a little bit, but while he's doing that, my platoon mate and another heavy are keeping that T10 Tiger 2 at bay. About to take out one of these Panthers. Now, one's taken out. Other 2 then decide they're going to run. So this flank is lost at this moment when they decide, yeah, let's go. About to take out this second Panther while reversing away. Probably would have got away if they turned and went forward. Thank you, Centurion. Sitting back, out of harm's way most of that battle, and then decides he's going to push the tank in my way. That Panther's gone. At this point I decide, hey, let's go forward. Shot on a move, high roll, gotta love him, and then bouncing that T10. At this point I was expecting that Vengeance and Tiger 1 that had been engaging at this T10 to actually push round and join us, but hey, they didn't. I took a shot. Doesn't really affect the rest of the battle. T10 gets taken out, Tiger 2 gets taken out, and this flank is won. Just like that. Getting a trade-off, taking a few tanks out, then pushing. Most of the time, people will just keep trading. They won't push in, and they won't gain any advantage. Luckily, we were able to get around and help the other flank in time. Called it. Airfield. Sandstorm. Brilliant. First time playing this map. Judging from other weather variants, decided visibility is going to be bad. So I'm going to put myself out on a flank behind these rocks. I'm going to be safe from anything over there. Only thing that might pose a threat is stuff that pushes around the side. Which, despite the fact that Batchat has pushed up, spotted a few tanks over here. So the enemy team should be aware that there are tanks on this flank. They do go and do. Firstly, T-32 goes forward. Now, enemy team, seeing that he just keeps getting shot and shot and shot. And he's dead. He might have got one shot off and died. So, sensible option, let's not push. At least around this side. Or so you would have thought. Absolutely smacked by RT and tank destroyers. 2002 P out of the game. Tortoise, having seen him get annihilated, just trying to utilise those tanks, but hey, you're keeping yourself safe from the front. It's not the front you need to be worried about, it's the flank. He's pushing in, unaware, they don't have the overmatch, and they're just being slaughtered. And I'm about to highlight why you shouldn't push when you don't know when enemy tanks are fully, because all it takes is, let's say, a Waffentrager Alpha Panzer who's been sitting back in a position, unable to support his team the entire game, with a 15cm who, hey, first damaging shot of the game he's actually done. Yeah. That was a bad push from me, lost most of my health, but whatever, we won that game. Because the enemy team pushed in unaware of where we were, had no overmatch and died. This is the game on Siegfried Line where I'm talking about. tanks in the field, not wanting to push up, they're more focused with a light tank. So I decide, hey, I'm going to go over here, try and deal with these 2 tank destroyers. It draws a prototype out from this city to actually come and engage me. My teammate, bless him, takes a shot from that AT-15 in the middle, just to come over and try and help. Unfortunately, because all of those tanks on the right decided they weren't going to shoot at this AT-15, I kind of have to get out of the way of his shots, which puts me in the way of that prototype. He's turning. He doesn't die in time, I can't get a shot off, they actually finish him off, but it's too late. I take another shot from that prototype while trying to avoid sitting in front of that AT-15's gun. If he had died a second sooner, I could have put the brakes on, not taken that shot, and possibly survived. Alternatively, RNG would get me lucky again. 2 shots, brilliantly into that AT-15. He missing his, go for the final shot, no idea where it goes, and I die. We almost lost that game, but the light tank that didn't want to do a light tank's job and didn't want to push or help shoot those tanks, finally at the end managed to clip out a KV-5. Somehow. So all it takes is 1 tank to throw itself away, and hey, I think 4 tanks went in the bargain for my tank, so well, this is what I'm talking about, where obviously half the team will go to one flank, half the team to the other flank. So it's just a standard game for now. Shots being traded both sides, nothing much really going on. Yes, I'm firing heat because T-34-3. It speaks for itself, like we were talking about bad premiums and I just had to pull this one out. It has been sitting in the garage collecting dust, but this was actually a fun game to play with it, except it has an we'll get to that in a little bit. So stupid move by me here. I should have gone after that Fatherland fired the first time, but any damage I hear doesn't even make a difference. Any damage I take here doesn't even make a difference. Trying to find some way to utilise my gun. Had a shot on that, but this 131, I don't even know what he was doing, but I got a call on his tank as he kept pushing around, and yeah. I'm not the first person who's done that to. It was happening to Rust early on in battle, and then it was happening to him as well later in the battle while they were pushing around. Obviously, lack of gun depression on this tank, trying to utilise it as much as I can, coming back up the flat ground to deal with these tanks. I believe that's a dead type, giving me cover from those 2 tanks in front. There's an RT and a Scorpion off to the right a little bit, but their shots are missing. Bit of unlucky RNG there. If it had gone where I was aiming, who knows, might have done some damage. So at this point, the other flank is still pretty much alive. But when we push in, that's all about to change as well. Fatherland taken out, Scorpion and killed, shooting. This KV-4, obviously, Rest helps me out. I don't want to take a shot from him. Rest takes him out. Still getting hit from that Scorpion, but to help Rest out so he doesn't take a shot, I'll finish off that IS-3. Now, Rest and Moose, seeing that the other flank's about to fall, go back to defend the base. I'm a bit triggered here, so I want to take out that Scorpion before going back. And that's exactly what I do. Unfortunately, that is all she wrote. I don't know if it was my internet in general or just my connection to Xbox Live, but that's the end of my battle pretty much. Disconnected. If it was just from the game servers it would have been okay, but Xbox Live in general, nothing much I can do except just wait until I can get back on. As you can see, no achievements, no party, no friends, no messages, no streaming. I believe that's Beam. Haven't even looked at that, but yeah. Come back on a few minutes later. to find out that we've lost a game to a cap. Could have been of use if I had survived, but hey ho. At least we done the right thing and pushed that flank and then went back to try and defend, whereas the rest of our team just went forward and died. All it needed was a light tank to stay on that flank, make sure nothing was coming back, and then the rest of our team could go back and defend. But great movement there from both teams where they noticed that the other flank's about to fall and just pushed at the same time. Unfortunately, they won the cap race and defended.